don't walk into the CFO's office and tell them you're a profit center. So the first thing they're going to think is, wait a minute, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be taking risks because it's almost like this is probably true of everybody on the phone. You have to be a humble person to be a treasurer because you almost never get credit for the success. But if you do anything wrong, you're going to get all the blame. So all of you are humble people, that I know. And so when we were building Blackstone Treasury Solutions or partnering with Treasury4, we think like treasurers, like that's not going to work. So I wouldn't portray it as we're going to be a profit center. The way to explain it is in an increasingly digitized world where the product offerings and the way things are paid in cash and money and foreign exchange moves, in that world, the treasury functions becoming a mix of both treasury, finance, payments, and money movements. All of those things together need to be optimized. And so a treasurer should be in the role of optimizing those functions so you can better support the cash needs and the asset liability matches for your businesses. I wouldn't call that a profit center. I showed it to because when you're thinking like when you're at Airbnb, you got a board full of venture capitalists. They don't understand. If I said profit center, what do you? They thought I was running a hedge fund, and I'm like, no, it's actually called Treasury. We're not taking risk and we're not giving value. All we're doing is putting our cash in money market accounts. It's not like a hedge fund. And so know your audience, whether that be the CFO or your board or your audit committee, and explain to them where your business is going and why you need to have more control over the data so you can predict better where cash flows are going and you can be more efficient and then just measure the value add. So in all the companies, we literally show treasury when we invested or bought the company, treasury after we did. And it would have wipe out FX losses by good hedging. It would have make payments more efficient, collect faster, pay slower, whatever, however you want to describe it. So I would describe it as a value creation effort because you don't want your reluctant CFO to think risk. You don't want to think that there's something that could blow up and you don't have to take risk to create value.
No, excellent summation. Ed, you were at Microsoft at a time where they were accused of running a hedge fund. Any thoughts from you on this topic?
Well, I mean, they were a different scale, right? I wouldn't call it a hedge fund. I'd call it a total return fund. And they had the asset base to be able to do that and take longer term positions. But I think back at my time at Tableau and implementing their investment program and taking it from, this is a great journey, discussion here, going from just deposits sitting in bank accounts, uninvested, to money markets, to short-term fixed income program, and having to take the organization through that and explain all the way up to the CEO and the audit committee at the board why we were doing this, how we were managing the risk, making sure there wasn't a perception that we were turning into a profit center, but that we were optimizing returns within a framework, which was the investment policy, and why we're doing and how that benefits the business, right? Because you could turn that interest income and say this additional interest income for the firm allows you to hire X number of engineers to further build out the product. We're not having to add incremental headcount in Treasury, but it's supporting the broader organization's needs. And so I think I completely agree with LT. You don't frame it as a profit center. You're constantly in Treasury optimizing data, flow of transactions, reducing costs, and it's a never ending journey to do that.